In this box is the Crafter G-17e from the Mind series. And in this video, we're going to find out if it's any good. There are some accessories in the box. You get an optional pickguard and a truss rod key and some silica gel. That's the instructions for the tuner and the pickup system. And the guitar is packed in a polythene bag. There's some kind of white box just here. I wonder what that is. It's a little windshield that goes over the gooseneck mic inside the guitar. That's cool. And a headstock reveal. Wow, that is pretty. First impressions, it looks like an expertly precision-made guitar. Wow, what an absolutely beautiful guitar. Oh, it smells like my pencil case that I had at primary school. That's weird, but welcome. Look at the back. That is an absolutely beautiful machine. See, I thought this was a Martin exclusive, but Crafter also have this sound hole tuner that's aimed at the player. I'm going to turn it on. And tune this guitar. So, tuner off, it's in tune. We'll go over the preamp and all the controls of that in a little bit. Let's hear what it sounds like through my vocal mic in the ceiling. First impressions of the sound is that it's a very warm, rounded guitar. It is a guitar that I think is a singing and playing guitar rather than a put it in a mix of a band guitar. I think this is going to sound amazing in some alternative tunings and open tunings, so I will cover that. And to do that, I'm going to set up my microphone and also plug in to the preamp. A quick note on the preamp, it's a separate jack socket out. It's not part of the pin, which I like. There's also a pin here, so you can put a strap on just there. I will test that as well, but it's sound sample time. I can't wait to play this. Now, it's been quite hard to find the exact specs of this guitar online, but I'll give you what I've got, and the rest I'll put in a link in the video description that you can 100% rely on. The Crafter G-17e has a grand auditorium body, and this is a solid American red cedar top. As for the back and the sides, these are layered mahogany, which look pretty stunning. The body, neck, and headstock are finished in this lovely subtle satin, and it's particularly nice to look at, but it's very nice to hold. And that is also made a bit more comfortable with this armrest just here. And this, again, is subtle, but it's just there, just giving you enough so you don't get that discomfort whilst playing. As for the neck, it looks and feels like mahogany, and the fingerboard looks and feels like rosewood. There's also a wooden binding on the neck, which is a lovely touch. The nut is something super special. I've never seen a nut like that before, and if you have seen a nut like this, please let me know what it is in the comments. As for the saddle, this is a compensated saddle, and these are wooden, and they look like ebony bridge pins, but I'm not sure that they are. The slotted headstock has got antique brass tuners on them, and they're branded as Crafter. And as for the tuning experience, the whole thing screams, I'm expensive. Although it isn't. This is what we would now call low to mid-tier price at around 600 notes. And I'm shocked and surprised because the build quality, it feels like 1,000 to 1,500 notes. One of the biggest welcome features of this is the nut width. It seems extra wide. It seems wider than I'm used to, and as I have big hands, I like an extra wide nut, and the string spacing seems fair, but it can be a little bit crowded down here. Up here, it's absolutely wonderful. As for the electronics, you're getting something in here that you don't find on guitars of this price point usually. It's got an undersaddle pickup, but it's also got a little gooseneck mic in there, and you can blend that with the pickup system controls. And one of my favorite things about the pickup system is that there are no extra holes cut into the guitar. From the outside, if it's not plugged in, you wouldn't really recognize this as being an electroacoustic. Plug it in, and it is. Luckily, the guitar comes with a little instruction manual for the pickup system. It's called the DS2 Pro Plus and Stealth Tuner. All the way on the left is the battery indicator. Then we've got a blend knob, which blends between the microphone and the undersaddle pickup, followed by a clarity switch, a volume knob, and a phase switch. Now I have to refer to the manual for this, because I want to talk about the clarity switch. If you click it to the inwards position, you will hear how the sound softens with more apparent highs and lows. So the filter has reduced the middle frequencies, it's a mid-cut, and that the lows and highs are more prominent, giving a silky smooth sound to strummed chords. This mode is best suited for rhythm playing and accompaniment. Now, of course, if you're not plugging it in, it doesn't do anything. But I am plugged in, so we're going to check what that sounds like, which means I have to put my headphones on. So we've got phase switch in, volume is at about 80%. The clarity, that's what it's called, is out, and I've got the blend. The mic is currently turned off. I'm going to put that all the way the other way. That's the mic all the way on. So let's have it midway just for this sound sample and see what the clarity does. Now, it does say in the manual that this clarity switch helps when playing rhythm guitar, so I guess I should play some cowboy chords. Okay, loud and clear the difference there. Because it's dropping the mids, it becomes a bit more sparkly in that top end because there's less mids, so that the high end sort of shines through a bit more. And although I miss the fullness of the whole guitar sound, I'm guessing that's going to help a lot when you're playing in a band. Now, it does sound a bit pickup-y to me. So again, fine if you're playing in a band mix or if you're live on stage, you don't have a mic'd up acoustic sound. But as we have a mic in here, I'm gonna mess around with the blend. So let's go full pickup first, and at the same time, I'm going to do a capo test to see if the guitar intonates. I'm a big fan of this pickup system, particularly the mic, but let's back off the blend to about 20%, back it off by 20%. So we're going towards the pickup 20%. Okay, a couple of discoveries. One, I really like the mic in this, and I've left it in the position that Crafter set it at, which is kind of pointing at the underside of the bridge. The second thing is that the undersaddle pickup is actually okay. It's better than a lot of undersaddle pickups I've tried at around this price point. And thirdly, it passes the capo test easily. That is definitely in tune with itself. It does, however, bring out something that is not so fun about the guitar, and that is that there's a sort of overtone there. Something you don't want. Something, if you were recording this, you'd want to mix that out a little bit. And it's not fully the sound behind the nut. Okay, for the money, can't really argue. You'd have to spend a heck of a lot more money to get rid of unwanted frequencies. The majority of the sound is good, but I have noticed that the pick is not where the guitar shines. The guitar tends to shine with the finger picking and the open notes. It gets a bit mushy and one sound losing clarity in the notes when I'm playing with that pick. It is a 1mm pick, and I do tend to play quite hard. When you're plugged in, I guess the clarity for that will fix that problem. Unplugged, it's definitely a finger-picking queen. By the way, it is fitted with Elixir strings. I often forget to mention which strings are fitted, and I do know, because this hang tag was hanging off there earlier, they're Elixirs. And speaking of which, they feel fantastic. They've got to be coated because there's like a sort of slippery slidiness to them that I enjoy. And furthermore, the action and setup of the guitar is extremely comfortable. And I don't have my measuring tools with me in my new studio yet, but I will show you. If I hold the guitar under the top-down camera, you should be able to see that the distance here is pretty much where it should be. Any lower than that, and this will buzz. Any higher, it's going to feel a bit uncomfortable. For me, that's the perfect action. And comfort-wise, I find it extremely comfortable to play. It is a satiny neck, so there's no stickiness there. And if you're coming from electric, this would be a good choice because it is a 25.5-inch scale, kind of a modern C-ish, which I don't normally like on electrics, and I do like acoustics with big thick necks. It's not thick that way. However, because there's a fair amount of shoulder on there and this nut feels a bit wider, it's a good old piece of wood to grab a hold of. It's very comfy. And this wooden binding, absolutely gorgeous to slide up and down. And the condition of the frets, spot on. I mean, every fret could do with a polish, and there is some sort of case stuff here, some sort of wax or polish on the fretboard that could be do with wiping off, but that is very comfortable. In fact, I've barely spoken about the looks of this guitar. With this being a cedar top, it's a bit richer, a bit warmer than the spruce guitars that I've been playing recently. And I don't know if we're going to go into tone woods here, but I feel the guitar is quite, not bassy, but midi and full of body. So that's possibly why they have the clarity switch in there, because it might be too dark without it when plugged in. I definitely think this is a more finger-picking style guitar, and in fact, on the box it says Fingy, and I think that might be Fingerstyle, but also if you're going to be gentle with the pick, that'll work as well. It's only when you dig deep it starts to fluff up a little bit. In fact, that might just be for the player. It might sound great for you. Let me know in the comments section. That feels great. It's like a bass mode and a slap. That's how I want to play this guitar. I'm too heavy with the pick. One thing that surprises me is that the tuner on here doesn't mute the output of the guitar. So I'm used to having like a button for tuner, and I use that as a mute when on stage. It doesn't do that on here, so I can... Still got a signal, which has its advantages and disadvantages. As long as you know what it does, then you'll be okay. If you've ever walked on stage with a guitar and wondered why you're not getting any signal and the tuner's turned on. Now let's talk about Crafter for a moment, because at around this price point, brand name and what's written on the headstock should not be the way that you're choosing an acoustic guitar, because there's so much more that's important and more important than what's written up there. And because it's Crafter, because it's made in Korea, because they've been making guitars for many, many years, they've done a phenomenal job on this. You've got features on this guitar like the pickup system with the mic and the blend and the comfort just there and the overall build quality. Look at this as a guitar, not as something that's going to get you cool points. And generally speaking, maybe it is cool to play a Crafter because I don't see many people playing them at the moment. And for me, being different is always good. It looks beautiful. It sounds great when you're finger picking. It does do the strumming. It's got the clarity switch if you need it. It is far better than the guitar that I bought for, well, 500, 600 notes many, many years ago when I started. This is superb. The only thing that might be missing for some people is a tone control, but it's got the clarity, so you should be able to get at least 2 sounds out of it that are pre-designed by Crafter. Add into that you can move the mic inside and blend in what you want, you should be happy with most things. If not, get yourself an acoustic guitar preamp and see what that does. The bottom line for this guitar is I want to keep playing it. I don't want to stop. It's comfortable to play. It feels like I've had it for a long, long, long time. And it doesn't get in the way of me musically. Like some acoustic guitars, they don't feel like I can sit with them for very long. The same with electrics. If you've ever tried to play a flying V sitting down, it's difficult. This is the opposite of that. And because of that, music should flow quite freely. I'm very happy with this. And for the money, I don't think there are many guitars out there that can beat Crafter right now if this is what they're doing across the board. I also just like looking at it, which is odd. I don't normally get that. I'm often looking at an acoustic guitar at this price point and seeing something I don't like. That isn't happening right now. There's not even like any glue inside that shouldn't be there, or rough edges where they think they can hide it. No. Well done, Crafter. So if you want more information about this, there are links in the video description. I'll make sure to put those there and in the first comment. I've had an absolute blast with this, and I'm going to stop filming now and continue playing. So if there's anything you want to know about this that I haven't covered, there's a comment section down there. Help each other. That is the way forward. And I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.